Hi guys, on today's video what we're going to be doing is we're making these cool clear little monster heads and we're going to be showing you how to do it. This is what they're going to look like at the end and they're really easy to make. All you need to do is you need to have some water and you need some clear. This is air dry clear which you can get off Amazon, not too expensive. This for a big block, that was about 12.5 kilograms, that's going to be more than enough for my full class and more. Was only about £15, so if you want a smaller amount, it's not too expensive. We just need this, some water, and we also, when we're going to colour it in, we need some paint. Okay, and different types of clear, but this is the one I'm going to use today. Now I've probably got a little bit more than I need for my monster head today, but I got a little bit extra out just so I didn't run out. So let's get started. Now firstly, I'm going to make the body. Now with the body, you can make any shape you want. You can see in the pictures, there's lots of different shapes, but what we need is that big mouth shape first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this and I'm going to sort of flatten it. Okay, so you can see I'm flattening it that there. And then when I'm flattening it, I'm going to start curving it over into, and I can just use my fingers to, and it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wrong when we first do it, okay, because we can keep going. And whatever size this is going to be, it'll be the size of your head. So if you want a bigger head, have obviously a bigger sort of mouth shape. You can see I'm folding that there and I'm keep pressing them down. You can see me keep doing this. What I'm doing that for is to smooth the edges out, okay? So it looks like one piece and this is the shape that it should be. So I've got that sort of shape there, okay? A little bit like a cave. You can see it's a curve. Now I can change it at the back. We've got all these monster heads can be different. It doesn't matter if yours looks a little bit different and a little bit changed. It means all your monsters will be different. And now what you can see is here is I'm pushing along the edge there. The reason I'm pushing along the edge, okay, is to again smooth it down. So we can see here you've got a little cut there. So I'm just gonna push them together with my fingers. And at the minute my air clear is quite wet, quite moist, which means it's easy to mould, which is brilliant. But what it also means is it's not the best at sort of standing up on its own at the minute. It hasn't hardened. So all depends on your clear. If your clear is a little bit hard and you can't mould it, put a bit of water on and that will help you to do it. Get it in a sort of shape that you want. And if it's too wet to stand up, we can leave it dry a little bit before we do the shape. But now you can see I've got my sort of monster mouth and I've made this one a little bit bigger, okay, you can see there. And I've been pushing it down and I've got my monster now. I could do lots of different shapes with this, but what I'm going to do that for the minute, I'll leave that just to the side while I do the other things. Now, the second thing I'm going to do are the eyes. Now, again, you can choose what you want to do with the eyes. You could have 2 eyes, you could have 3 eyes, 1 eye. It is a monster, of course. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this, okay? So you can see I've got a little bit, and if I keep rolling it, keep turning it round, I will get these circular spheres, okay? And again, I can smooth those down and keep going. I don't want to push too hard because that'll flatten it. So you can see I'm not really pushing down. I'm just on the top and rolling it round to get that circle. Now you might even want to, if you've done a few of these, you might want to put the eyes on stalks, okay, like some monsters have. And I can see there, look, the eyes are different sizes. Now on yours, you might want the eyes different sizes. I don't mind the same, so I'm going to take it off a little again. And you can see, look there, I've ruined my shape, but it doesn't matter because the clay is still wet. And if it dried up a little bit, I can still get it wet and we can reform the shape into whatever we want, okay? It's a bit like the advantage when you're drawing and you're drawing with a pencil, you can rub it out. If you draw with a pen, you're stuck with it. Now, eyes are a little bit different sizes, just a little bit there, but I like that. I think I'm going to keep that. So I'm going to keep those 2 there for the eyes. Okay. Now, with the rest of the monster, you sort of have a choice. So we've got the mouth. Now, some people can leave them empty. Okay. Some people might want to do a tongue, and some people might want to do teeth. Whatever you want to do with that. So I'm going to make a couple of teeth. Okay, now if you wanted to, you could use tools as well to make these. Okay, I'm making these little squares. I'm going to make 2 top front teeth. Okay, So I've got a little bit too much there, so I'll take it off. But you can see I'm pushing the side and I'm pushing down, and I'm trying to get this square shape. Now you might use like a knife to cut them, like a clear knife, so made out of wood, so it's not too sharp, so it's not going to hurt you. Okay, I'm going to put that in with things. Is that big enough? I think it's too big, so I'm going to make that, take the end off it there, and I'm just going to make it into a little square there, a little cube, and that's going to go at the top, but I'm going to give them 2. Okay, so I need to keep this one there so I can see I'm going to get it about the same size. Yeah, so tools might make this easier for you, but I'm just doing this with my hands to show you you don't need any fancy tools or anything. As long as you've got the clay and you've got some water, you can make them. Now again, it's a monster, so the teeth don't all have to be the same size. And what's a good thing when you're starting off using clay, why it's good to make monsters, is monsters always have lots of different things, and your monster can be anything. The teeth don't have to be a certain shape, the tongue doesn't have to be, the eyes don't have to be the exact same height and size, and that means your monster will still look good, look like a cool monster, even if you're still learning and you're making little mistakes and you think, oh, I didn't want that, but it's just a monster, so it looks okay. And that's why it's good to do monster. Then when you get better, you might think, oh, I want to make something now where I'm going to make it properly, and they are all going to be the same size and all those type of things. Okay, so I think I need this a little bit thicker, so I'm going to fold that over, squash it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to need a little bit more clay on this one. And like I say, yeah, as you can see with the pictures I got that my children made in my class, you can have lots of different monsters, all the same, all the different, sorry, you don't want them all the same. Right, so I've got my 2 teeth there, and I'm going to make a tongue. I'm going to show you how like a general tongue shape, okay? So what I'm going to do, I've got this bit of clay, and I'm going to sort of fashion it into like a little bit of a sausage shape to start off with. I might want to roll it if I want. Okay, now I'm going to have a look with my monster mouth. Have a look, that's a bit too big, so I'll take a little bit off. Okay, but now I've got this sausage shape, okay, and it's about the right length. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten it down, okay? So I'm going to squeeze it with my finger underneath and my thumb on the top, so it's squashing out and it's become flat. Now again, you can make it any shape you want, so I'm making this tongue a little bit fatter at the end there, okay, and I'm smoothing it down. That's one of the most important things, is to smooth it down. See, and if you really can't smooth something, if you get a little bit of water, okay, can you see that there? Really smoothing it down. So the water can help you smooth it down if you're having problems with that. Okay, so have a look at that end there. I get a little bit of water and I rub around, don't want to push too hard. But obviously be careful, because when you do that, makes the clay really sort of easy. And there's my sort of tongue shape. Now with the rest of them, you'll have seen some of my monsters, some of them might have spikes on their head, some of them might have little bits on. You can put anything you want on, but this is the basic shapes that we're going to do. Even with the teeth as well, I've done 2 square teeth, you might want pointy teeth. You can make whatever you want. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join them together. Now this isn't dried as much yet, so I can still move it. So I've got this shape here. Now this is how we're going to stick it. The same way we smoothed it is we're going to put a bit of water on. And when we put a bit of water on, okay, it will help them stick. And then I'm going to get some water, and the places where I want this tongue to stick down, I'm rubbing around and I'm joining it on. Now I'm not going all the way down there, because the tongue obviously not attached to the mouth, but it needs to be attached enough here. Okay, it needs to be attached enough here so that it doesn't come off. So you can see there now it sort of blends in. It doesn't look like 2 different pieces there, it looks like 1 piece. Okay, next I'm going to do the teeth. Now these might be the hardest ones doing, so I'm going to put some water on the edge there, and I'm going to stick these at the top of the mouth. Okay, I'm going to turn that around a bit because it's a little bit, oh, drop on it. Smooth that on that side. There was a little bit of a crack in his tooth. I'm sticking that on there, okay? And I want to be really careful with it when I stick it on. Again, second tooth, bit of water there, making sure I've smoothed it down first. Okay, so it's 1 complete piece. And then we're going to stick it in next to it, his second front tooth. So he's got his 2 teeth there, so hold a little bit and then leave it. Now, same with the eyes. Eyes go on the top, like you see, you could have 2, you could have 3. You can do whatever you want with them. So I'm going to do a little bit of water there. Okay, now this is a big thing. So what I'm doing here, you can see I've got my circle, but the end's a little bit flat, because if you want these to stick on, okay, and stick on for a long time, the more area that they touch together, okay, the stronger that the stick will be. So I've got my shape of my monster there. Now, before we can paint it or anything, what we need to do is let it dry. Okay, now there's two ways you can do this. You can just let it naturally, might take a day or so to dry. You could get a hairdryer and dry it down. Okay, so you get a hairdryer and dry it down, it's going to be quicker. And what you could do if you get a hairdryer and dry it around, you could position the mouth another way. You can see how mine is, oh, I don't want to stick there. You can see how mine there is sort of drooping down because of the weight of the clay, maybe because I made it a little bit too big. But when it starts to dry, I could come and it's right, I'm going to push this together a little bit, hairdryer it, because I want the mouth to be sort of big and long. But I'm going to keep like mine, I like mine like that. Okay. So I'm going to, there we go. Leave that to dry now. And what we'll do is we'll come back when it's dry and we'll have a look at painting it. So let's wait then. Right, okay guys, here we are. It is dried out, so we can start painting now. You may notice that his eyes fell off, okay? Now that didn't fall off when it was drying. If you've seen my TikTok, I picked it up, put it down quite hard, and his eye fell off. But don't worry, I did it on purpose. Yeah, definitely. Just to show you, if it does dry out, we just need a little bit of water. You can see I'm making it sticky again. Now normally I would do this, let it dry again, then paint it. But because I want to get this video out, we do that. And then when we leave that on there, this will be harder, but it will eventually stick, okay? And it does show us that we need to make sure we've got plenty of surface area touching when we're putting those things on to stick. So I'm just going to hold that there for a little bit. Normally when both sides are wet, you could put it on and it would stick and it would eventually stay there. But at the minute, there you go, stick, and I normally let it dry. I will just paint that a little bit later at the minute. Right, I'm just going to move my rabbit, because you'll be here, paper getting ripped in the background. He's ripping the paper I'm using for that. Right, so now we're going to paint it, okay? And you can get different colour clay. So you might have a white clay. Now if you've got a white clay, great, get painting straight on it. Mine, I've got a grey clay, and when it's dried you can see it's a light grey, but it's still a grey. If you want your colours to really pop on what you're doing, the first thing I would do is I would paint the whole thing white. Okay, let it dry, and then when you paint the colours on top, you really see the true colours. Now I'm not going to do that this time, I'm just going to go in with the colour straight on so you can see how they look. But that would be a tip for you if you're doing something first practicing. I would just have a go, get used to painting. If you're doing that, paint it all white and it will let you out. So what we're going to do first, we're going to paint these teeth. These might be the hardest to get into. Now the reason I'm painting the teeth is what I am going to do is when I'm painting, I'm going to start with the lightest colours first. What that means is if I make a mistake, it is easy when it dries to paint over, okay, with the dark colour. It is harder if you draw a dark colour to go over in the lighter colour, okay? It's not going to show as much and it will take much longer to do. So it's best to start with the white colour, and you're still going to be fairly safe, okay? And we're going to, just you can see this is just normal poster paint, we're just going to paint on there. Now you can see not as bright as when it's first going on, so we need to make sure we are getting on, and you can always do 2 coats, okay? Like I said, that'll help it, the colours really pop. Now what's going to be the hardest with this one is colouring the teeth at the back, okay? And again, why it's good to do these first, and luckily they're in a lighter colour, because if I do get it on the back or anything, I'm going over in a darker colour, okay? And these will look, the paint will look better when it dries as well, which obviously you'll see in the video, and you can see, I think I'd put another coat on, or whether you wouldn't, okay? And I'm making sure I'm not wanting to leave any of the grey clay, okay, sort of visible to see, okay, even if it's little bits, because that'll really affect how good your monster looks. Okay, I'm going to try and get some on the back here. Now it's going to be hard because I'm not going to see how much coverage I've got, but as long as it's enough so You can see people are going to look closely. You can't see it anyway, so we got there. So we've got my 2 white teeth there. Now, what I'm going to do is paint the eyes, because I'm going to have some white in the eyes. Now, I'm going to draw the eyes so they look like they're different levels of open, so it's got like a funny look on his face. But I still need some white of the eyes, so I'm not just going to... I mean, again, this is a monster, so you can do it any way that you want, okay? You can have... you could do these all white. Okay, it's not what I'm going to do. You'll see exactly what mine's going to look like when it's finished. Okay. Buster, can you leave that, please? Buster's playing with all my paint supplies, my rabbit. Okay, so you might think, Mr. B, that looks a little bit strange at the minute, but you will see, okay, when I finish exactly what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going over a little bit extra of the area that I'm actually going to need, and that's fine because I'm going to go over in a dark colour. I'm going to do the same with the other eye, and I'm going to be very careful. Okay, because this eye is the eye that I've just stuck on, and normally I would leave that to dry. Okay, and you can, but you know what I'm like on here. I never hide away when I make mistakes, when things go wrong, because it could happen to you. We need to know how to fix them. Okay, all these people have these perfect videos on YouTube. Trust me, they all make mistakes. They just edit them out. Well, that's my excuse anyway of why I make mistakes. Right, now we've got the front of the eyes there. If you have a look, okay, you can see I've sort of done about halfway. I haven't done all the way at the bottom, and you'll see why when I get onto that. So that's all the white that I'm going to do for now. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to get some red, and I haven't got any pink paint, so I'm going to do the tongue. Now remember, I'm doing quite normal colours here for the tongue and the teeth and things. Your monster could have any colour. Monster now. Could have any colour, and like I said, these are just normal poster paints. Any colour tongue you wanted to, because a monster could have a green tongue, okay? Could have any tongue. Could give me yellow teeth if I haven't been brushing their teeth. So I've got my red and yellow, and I haven't got pink, so I'm just going to get a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, and we'll mix them up until I get the shade that I want. And make sure I've got enough of that paint to do the full tongue, okay? Because I like that colour there, but I'm going to have to put a bit more paint in, because I don't think I'd have enough to do the full tongue. A little bit more red in there. And make sure when you're mixing colours, okay, when you're making two colours, make sure you mix it quite evenly, okay? Because sometimes what you can do, if I just mix this part here, this side's going to be redder. I need to make sure all the paint that I'm going to be using has the same shade in order to look the same. Now I'm using normal poster paints here, but I did have some glitter paints. I was going to use them, but I thought no, I'm sure you will be able to show me some really fancy glittery ones, okay? But I'm just going to go for the standard one to show you can do this simply with clear and a bit of paint. So I'm happy with that colour, so I'm going to start painting his tongue, okay? I'm just going to get it on there. Again, trying just to get the areas that we want this colour, okay, but not worrying too much if we go onto the sides of the skin and things like that, because we know we're going over. What I do need to be really careful of though is, like I've said, I can go over with a darker colour easier, but it's going to be harder if I get white on those teeth. Okay, I'm going to have to go back over with a lighter colour, so I need to be really careful with my brush strokes here, and I've given it the kiss of death, haven't I? As I've said that, I'm probably going to knock those teeth, okay? And what I'm trying to do is like a uniform line at the back there, where the tongue is ending and the mouth is going to start. Okay, and I'm making sure I'm brushing over so I haven't got any lumps or bumps or anything like that on the paint. It's nice and even, and that'll help my figure look better. See, I've got a little bit on the side there, but that's okay. And obviously, don't forget these things, especially when you mix your own colour. I need to do the bottom of the tongue as well, don't I? Is that in shot? Yeah, that's what I do sometimes. I'll be doing arty projects, things like that, and because I'm focused on what I'm doing, I move the actual object out of shot, I move it out of shot, focusing on what I'm doing, and I look back and I go, that's not really helpful for you guys, is it? Okay, again, making sure I get in there, but not too worried about getting the paint on the sides there, because we're going to go with darker colour. I think my monster, I'm going to do one of my favourite colours. I'm going to do in blue. Okay, and to make sure I've got the right mix, I'm just going to do the standard blue from the bottle. Okay, you can mix your own colours. You can have them green, yellow, red, whatever you want. Okay, make sure I've got this side. Look, I'm going around. I haven't got that side of the tongue. So any part of the grey clear that we can still see is going to take away from how good this is going to look when it's finished. So we want to make sure we are getting even coating, we are coating everything. What's really important as well is, like I have just said, I have mixed this colour. So if I've missed a bit and I want to go back, I am going to be pretty knackered if I need to do this tongue again, because I'm going to have to try and mix this colour exactly. And if you've ever tried to do that, you will realise that is very, very hard. So again, look, you can see there little lumps and stray marks in there. So I'm just brushing to make sure we have got it all. And then see little bits here. I'm going to paint on. And like I said, if you want yours to really pop, the best thing you need to do is to paint it white first and then go over with your paints. Or alternatively, again, do 2 coats. I'm just going to do with 1 coat with this, and then you will see what it looks like and you can make that decision when you do your own. Am I going to do 2 coats? But you can see the white there. Oh, the eyes fell off again. You can see the white there has dyed a lot, dried. Some died. His eyes fell off. He's still alive. We're okay. I'll have to wet this again. What am I going to do? Actually, I'll leave his eye off for the minute so we can paint, and then I'll stick it on. Actually, no, I'll get it on. I'll get it on now. This is just water again that I'm putting on. Obviously, what's happening now is it's sticking, and if I left it to dry, it will be fine, which is what I should have done. But because I'm moving it around when I'm painting, he's falling off. But we should be okay. He's sticking there. Okay. So yeah, you can decide, do I need another coat of paint or anything like that? And all those things. And the last little bits here. And I like to make these videos because I'm not the greatest of artists. I'm okay at art. I like to do these things to show you that anyone can do them. If I can do them, anyone can do them. Okay. And also that all it takes is practice. Keep practicing and little things that you're doing get better and better. Okay. And like I said, yeah, you can see that the white there is got the colour of it a lot more. Now it's dry, so don't worry about it. Now my monster, I am going to do a blue colour. Okay. I'm going to do the inside of his mouth. I'm actually going to do black. Okay, that we can't see. We could do it all blue. You could leave it that. That's absolutely fine. You could do it. I could do blue on the outside and a lighter blue on the inside. That would look cool as well. But I think I'm going to go for black. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to paint the main part of my monster blue. Okay, and what I'm going to do, so you don't have to sit through that, is we're just using blue paint going over. I will speed this part up and we will have a look and see it when it is completely blue. What I'm going to show you now is the eyes and what I mean. So what I'm going to do with the eyes is do it so there looks like there's some eyelids over the top. Now you can do these the same, you could do them open, but you will see what I mean. And to do this, we need to make sure that it is a straight line. So what I'm going to do, and it won't be a straight line going across, because if it's a straight line going across, the eye's just going to be closed, isn't it? So I might on this one, okay, in diagonal out and then round, and you will see what I mean. So the back part of it I can just do in blue, okay. But what I need to do, and what the ideal part for this, if you want to get real detail on these, you need a thinner brush than I have, okay. And I'm just going to do a line coming across, okay, to there, down at the bottom, and then behind that I'm just going to paint blue. Okay, so these aren't just complete eyeballs on the top there for my monster, which yours could be. Okay. They are. Okay, and the same with the other one, and start painting the back. They are going to be, let me see if I've got a thinner brush here. Oh, and I knew I wouldn't bring my thinner brushes down because I didn't think I needed them. Okay, but this looks like a farmer brush. Okay, a line. I'm going to do this line across. Okay, again, it's important to get this line nice and straight. And again, what I could have done is when the eyeballs fell off, I could have painted them separately, couldn't I? And then stuck them on. Oh, and as if by magic, exactly what I'm mentioning is doing. Okay. So what we'll do here is I'll show you me painting the eye closer. Okay, so under that there, just going to paint a line across. Okay, try and make it straight. Mine's not the best there. But again, like we said, these are monsters. So they will, okay, I don't have to worry too much about the bottom of it because that's going to be stuck, isn't it? Okay, so follow my line across and go down on this side. Let me just get it in shot. Okay, I'm following that line down. Okay, and straight across. Off. And you can see my line's not the straightest, so I might try now, because we came down a little bit, to straighten that. Like I said, thin brushes would really help you with this one. A lot thinner than I've got. And so, see, so this eye is nearly closed. Okay, and I'm going to have this other eye a little bit more, well actually a lot more open. Okay, so while this is off, I'm going to paint there and get in while I can. Okay, and this one we're going to have quite wide, so we're going to have two different eyes, make them look a little bit crazier. Okay, so we're going to go across there. See, this is a lot more open. And what you need to do is have like a sort of the meat at a point, more of a triangle, and sort of two lines. Because if you have them as two lines, the eyes look really, really wide. Okay. And again, any mistakes you make with the paint and stuff like that, and you've got more time than me in this video, you can touch them back up once it's dry, add extra paint on, go over the top, all of those type of things. And what I'm doing here, I'm not bothered how open this eye is, and more try to make sure the line where they join together is straight. So you can see sort of at the side there, they join at a sort of angle. Okay, rather than it just coming together. Now this brush here really not helping me. I haven't got the cleanest of lines, which means it's drawn on. And I can tell you a good thing as well, once you've painted as well, especially with the lighter paints and those type of things, you could probably use Sharpies as well to add extra little details and things as well. Now my monster, as you can see, is quite plain. He's going to be a blue fella because he's feeling blue. Dad jokes 101. Okay. He's feeling quite blue. He's quite down. But you can do anything you want. Okay, so you could have multicolored, it could be 2 different colors, it could have spots around, different color polka dot type of things on them. Okay, whatever you want your monster to have, you can be as different and unique as you can. Never follow suit, never be the same, always try and be unique in everything, not just art, but in everything. I get the free philosophy lesson as well. So we've got this one I done, I think. I'm gonna leave that to dry for a little bit. So I'm gonna speed the video up again, and we'll try and get some of the bottom painted. Let's hope no more eyes fall off, because I've only got one left. Okay, here we go. Now I'm just waiting for this bottom part to dry before I put it down. I don't want to stick to the paper. Okay, and I was going to lean it on its side, but I don't want to risk knocking that off for the minute. But as you can see, when I was painting there, my bottom, when I've made the bottom of this monster, it's not as smooth as my top, because obviously it was down on the thing and I haven't seen. And what you can see, obviously I'm stroking with my brush backwards and forwards to get the paint on. But there's the odd time there's like the little hole or anything like that. Can you see there? And you can see it's a little bit grey inside. Simply what I do there is I sort of do like a tapping, okay, and it gets the paint in. But what I do is I tap, try to get the paint in those little crevices and things I can't get it in, and then I swipe over the top, so I haven't got a big clump of paint on there that spoils the look of the monster. Even though it's on the bottom, we want it looking the best it can, and that can help us. So I'm going to hold this till it dries, and then we'll get on the last couple of parts of our monster. Now again, what I'm going to do is I've let that paint on the top there of the tongue dry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a pure red line down the middle like a normal tongue would. Okay, and now this is what can really bring your monster or anything that you're doing to life. These little details, that's a little bit wet. Okay. These little details, okay, rather than just doing the tongue of colour, a little line down the middle like we do on our own tongues. Have a look in the mirror if you don't believe me. Okay, and again, when you're doing details, a smaller brush would probably be better. I'm just going to do that little bit of the tongue down there. And you can add lots of little details. And you can see on the blue paint and things like that, you could put like try to make little scales, or you could use like sponges and stuff to do that. You could use metallic paints. Lots of different ways you can do that. I'm going to talk about that near the end when I've finished. So, only colour I've really got left that I want to do is, on this one, is black. And what I'm going to do is you can see the inside of his mouth. If we get him centre stage. Boo-boo. The mouth is the only bit you can see that's not in the minute. And obviously we need the black as well for the little pupils in his eyes. So I'm just cleaning my brushes. And what we're going to do is the back of the mouth we are going to paint as if you've got a big throat, black, we can't see all the way down, it's that big, okay? Now, when we do this, I'm going to do it black. You could do it all blue if you wanted to, okay? So you could keep the colours the same, just a normal blue mouth. You could, what might look good is if I made a lighter blue, or I had a lighter blue paint and do a little bit of a lighter blue in, those ones can look really good as well. So it would help if I poured out some black paint. So I'm going to put some black. And if I wanted to, I could put a little tinge of blue in, couldn't I? But I'm not going to. I'm just going to focus on getting the black in there. So I'm going to dry my brush from the water. Okay. And let's start getting inside, speed it up, and we'll come back when we've got the inside of his mouth done. Right guys, so we've got most of it painted here. Okay, turn the camera off so I get right in. You'll be able to see that on camera and everything. So we've got most of it painted. And what I'm doing now here is I'm drawing the little pupils on the eyes. Now, if you haven't got a really fine paintbrush like that, I've got a little cocktail stick here, and I'm just using it to dab, okay, and make this eye for me. You can see, okay, we've got that little dot, which for me with my brushes would never been able to do. And lots of us have cocktail sticks in the house, so let's put this eye on there. Okay, you make the pupils as big or as small as you want. I think I'm going to go a little bit bigger. What we're going to try and do with the pupils is they want to try and be the same size as each other. So this one needs to be a little bit bigger, even though his eye's closed. Okay, I think he's pulling a funny face. His pupils would still roughly be the same size. So, right, pretty much painted there. What I'm going to do now, let it dry a little bit. I'm going to stick the eye on and let's have a look at it when it is completely dry. And there we go, there's our finished monster, done quite quickly. So you know you could do a neater and a better one than me. Okay, looks quite cool with the dark mouth. If I was going to do this in a little bit more, I'd do another coat on these type of areas, okay, but I think he looks pretty cool. Now what I'm going to show you as well is I did this with my class, and I'm going to show you all the different designs, the colours, the extra things I might have put on that they did to give you some ideas. I hope you have a go at this, and if you do, send me up my Twitter at Mr. B123, forgot it for a minute there, or any other way that you want to send me to them, pictures or anything like that. I would really love to see how you've done it. Remember, don't just copy things that we are seeing. Use these ideas, use these skills, and see if you can come up with unique and different things, adding different things on, different colours, doing different facial expressions, maybe different teeth, maybe not having a tongue, doing something different there. Okay, use these techniques and make what you want to make. Hope that helps. Hope you enjoy the next couple of monsters. Until next time, see you all later.